welcome to another edition of Cavalier Family, the podcast where you get all your entertainment news of the past. And by entertainment, I mean the top movies, cartoons, TV shows, and music, because we are an independent studio. We try as much as we can to please everybody out there. And with that in mind, and this podcast, what we like to do is just that. We like to discuss entertainment where each month is a different year, each week is a different topic. Last month was 1948. This month, you'll soon know. But like we do always, we want to thank our Cavalier family, and specifically with Kevin Holmes, who did the intro and outro, Justin Dye, who's created many of the musical elements, not just here, but also future projects and in the past, as well as our researcher, Mr. Stephen Dawson. No major updates as of right now, though. One major update that's from last week is we have Mr. Rowe back. So that's amazing. That's fun. That's fantastic. Love to have him.
What up?
What up? So with that, that's mainly our basic update from last week of the difference. Other than that, we only ask that you, of course, subscribe by hitting that subscribe button down below. We also want you to like and follow all of our social media platforms, only because of the fact that we would love to support. We want to bring all the entertainment and all the fun facts to you guys as much as possible, as well as, the funding too. It definitely helps out with the funding, and especially with YouTube algorithm. The algorithm only works if you comment, if you subscribe, if you hit that like button. So go ahead and smash that like button. Otherwise, you can click the link down below to go to our merchandise store. And there you can, of course, buy a shirt, buy merchandise to help support this channel. Not only that, but support other channels in the future as well. Special project with Roe here, as well as Mr. Justin Dye, with their future projects, as well as other podcasts too, other ways of storytelling, just wanting to make sure that we bring in our A game to you guys all the time. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump it back in time to 2008.
Back in time.
And welcome back to the year 2008. With 2008, of course, that was my graduating year, as I explained last year. The script that I've written, what kind of just brought Cavalier Family, is all detailed in 2007, 2008 era. So I know off screen, Ro had asked me, what were you doing in 2008? Well, it's a bunch of shenanigans and a bunch of high school shenanigans, all of that that you can actually see and you can read as well. Through the script that I've written, as well as you can watch it in the independent movie that we're trying to film. And again, that's kind of what the whole point of this podcast is trying to bring awareness, so then that way we could get that jump started. But the real question is what were you doing, Ro, in 2008?
I was in high school, 2008. That was my junior year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that was my junior year.
That was my senior year.
I was definitely a nerd. Definitely a nerd. Me and a couple homeboys. Like we just used to hang out, play video games all the time. I did play basketball. Like I was on a couple traveling teams and stuff like that. But it was basketball and video games. That was my main priority. Like back then, girls thought I was ugly, so I was definitely not getting into girls. But so yeah, it was definitely basketball and video games all the time.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, you're single, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All the ladies who are listening or watching, Ro here is single. Hit him up, follow him, do whatever you need to do. He wants you. He wants all of you. He wants every bit of piece of you. So
no, I'm not Drake.
See, I didn't really get to play any sports other than junior high period was baseball, and that was 7th and 8th grade. To be honest, I was mostly in band. I wanted to do sports, but by the time I was able to do sports back in like junior, senior year, because my folks weren't able to take me to the practices, there was no one to pick me up and stuff like that. So the main thing that I was able to do was band. But the major thing that I remember is, of course, spending large amounts of time with, my best friends, who are really close friends and best friends till this day too. Um, but that was going to, band parties, and I'm not talking about like band parties like everybody who plays his trumpet, we're all going to do an orchestra today. No, I'm talking about like band parties where you have a high school band who's throwing a party and go watch them play at somebody's house, either in the garage or either in the barn, something along those lines. So that's what I remember from it. When it comes to women, I mean, to be honest, I didn't have the the confidence in myself, because I was always a jokester, always like very subtle, very shy. I guess another word is intimidated. Like whenever I was interested in a girl, like I was interested, and like I would always do like 100%, always providing, like be funny, talking, stuff like that, but also on the shy level. But at that point, like I couldn't make that extra step. Like I was always scared to make that extra step. And that's kind of what the script kind of depictates as well. So I mean, everybody has their own in high
Yeah,
school.
facts. I actually played the saxophone too. Like I played the saxophone for a while. Um, I I played the bass, I played tenor, and I played snare. And I was trying to learn how to play full drum set. Yeah, so I mean, I was pretty much just trying to do everything, I guess, during high school. But junior year, like I was pretty, I guess, pretty active when it comes to football and stuff like that. So it was good times.
Nice. It sounds, yeah, I would agree with a little bit on that on my end too. But like just like last week though, we do have some fun facts from 2008 that does not have to detail Ro or I. So Ro, go ahead and kick us off with our fun fact for this week, and I'll go ahead and do the last one.
Oh, Xbox 360 game system. Like that was it. Like I mean, I had one. But the Ring of Death was like a thing. Like I think I probably went through like two Xboxes just because I got Ring of Death. Like it was bad.
I was scared once. I got the Ring of Death once, but the big major games that I played were like Halo.
Mhm.
Halo has, well, to be honest, it's still big within me. Well, I shouldn't say within me, but I still love the game.
Hey yo, pause.
I still love the game Halo. I still love and enjoy Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is another big one, like playing online with friends.
Yeah,
I mean, all the major ones, really. And from my understanding, is that the Xbox 360 also sold for like $279,
yeah,
which I mean, I would love for a game system to cost that much again. Um,
right. It's like
now,
500 now.
yeah, it's like 500, close to 600 now. Talk about inflation in that way.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, think about it. You had like a bunch of Star Wars games on there too. Like Force Unleashed was on there. Um, and then of course, not just the Xbox 360, but top toys too, like the Lego Star Wars Rebel Scout speeder. And then Miss Hannah Montana was famous during that time too.
yeah. Speaking of Left 4 Dead, the new one just came out not too long ago. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I've been
Like,
meaning to get it.
yeah,
Back for Blood.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely pretty good. Like, but that's obviously on the new Xbox, but it's I recommend it. Um, I think Need for Speed. Remember Need for Speed games?
Yep.
Yeah, those games
Underground.
are pretty. Yeah, yeah. Hot Pursuit was a good one on there. There was a couple fire games on there. 2K always. I used to kill everybody in 2K. Like
Well, you still
you
kind
know,
of do.
yeah, things never change, right? Well, those things.
And speaking of like sports wise too, the other fun fact from 2008 is the New York Giants won the Super Bowl, which I remember that game. I was on the edge of my seat. That's when I was a big Giants game, until my own conspiracy theory thinking that the NFL is rigged. And the only reason why I believe this, and hear me out, is because that year the New York Giants won. I remember Plexico Burris catching the football on his helmet, Eli Manning just throwing after throw, just and then Tom Brady too, amazing throws. But this is why I say um, the NFL is rigged, and you could judge me, and everyone can judge me if you want. I mean that's fair, but the Super Bowl after that, when it's the New York Giants and Patriots one on one again, going for that championship, and the New York Giants won. But I remember multiple times thinking the Patriots should have won that. Coming from a Giants fan, the Patriots should have won that. And the only reason why is because I remember Tom Brady throwing a pass to Gronkowski, and Gronkowski literally has his arms out, easiest catch, right? Football comes, hits him in the chest, falls out. It could have been Gronkowski, it could have been a different wide receiver. That's the only one that comes to my mind. But the football, chest, oops, fell on the ground. Like, no. That is the most easiest catch, and you let that go. Or a couple of interceptions that happened. That I was like, wait, what? No, that was not supposed to happen. So that's
So you're saying Gronkowski
let
gave
it
the game
go.
up.
Well, I can't really say Gronkowski because I can't confirm that it was Gronkowski, but
Mm.
I can say that whoever the wide receiver was or the tight end was, who went in for that catch, they
We should definitely show a clip from that game.
I mean, we should, yes. Unfortunately, I don't think we can just because of copyright issues. And for some
Yeah.
reason, we keep on getting flagged on YouTube, even for music. So that sucks. But hey, that's what we're here for. So, with that, those are your fun facts. And with that in mind, what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and jump in the top 5 cartoons. This comes from briefversion.com. And let's see here. And we'll go ahead and start off with number 1. First aired from 2008 to 2011, 65 episode run, IMDb 7.3, and that is Batman the Brave and the Bold. That actually aired on Cartoon Network. I'll be honest, I didn't really watch this cartoon. According to IMDb, it stated that it's an updated animated series centering on the Cape Crusader himself as he partners and deals with his fellow superheroes in the DC Comics universe. Apparently, as of 2012, it was the only Batman TV series that had Batman directly confront Joe Chill, which, if you guys don't know, in the comic books, Joe Chill is actually the gentleman who shoots Bruce Wayne's parents. There is, I forget when he finds out, but Joe Chill is the guy. And of course, it's one of the best, I guess, coming origin stories. The only other time would have been Batman Begins in 2005, where it dealt with Joe Chill's consequences, but did not feature a face between him and Batman. Of course, Batman Begins was a Christopher Nolan film, 3-parter, because it was Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises. And then, of course, the Batman the Brave and the Bold that starred Dietrich Bader, James Arnold Taylor, which, if I'm not mistaken, he plays Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars cartoon series, Will Friedle, and then Tara Strong. Everyone knows who Tara Strong is. She's Bubbles, of course, from Powerpuff Girls. But from off air, you yourself, Rose, said that you didn't really watch this at all, right?
No, I watch certain kind of animated series, like, and I just don't like how the characters look. It looked like real, like, if it looked like if Batman Beyond and Lego Batman had a baby, and that's what you got. Like,
So Lego Batman
like
and
it's
Batman had a baby?
nah, Lego Batman and Batman Beyond. Like it was just like real boxy and like I wasn't convinced. Like I could watch Batman Beyond all day, but like or even the older ones, like the ones that came out like in the early '90s,
Mhm.
like just the way like they were depicted, right? But this one, it's like everybody like seems so small. Like it's like we didn't want to waste a lot of money trying to create these characters, so let's just
Yeah,
make them, yeah,
yeah, I could see that. I didn't actually watch any of this either. It honestly didn't appeal to me either. It just really didn't. It
yeah,
like what you said, everything was just bold, and to me everything was like blown up, and I'm saying like blown out, like the arms were, I know it's getting very fine in detail, but it's kind of like you have a Mr. Armstrong, like the ones that the stretchy guys, right?
yeah,
Little kids. Um, and I said Captain or Mr. Armstrong. I meant Stretch Armstrong as a kid. And like, you know how it would look different when you'd stretch him out, his arms would get really thin.
yeah.
Well, but when he's not, he's just this big, bulky guy.
Bulky thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly how. Yeah,
yeah, and it just looked bulky. All the characters just look bulky. And I guess that's coming from the fact of like what you're saying. I grew up with same Batman cartoons. That's what I watched. Mark Hamill as the Joker, Kevin Conroy as the voice of Batman, the iconic Harley Quinn voice. I mean, those are the ones that I grew up with, and Terry McGinnis for Batman Beyond. Like, that's that's my Batman. Those are
hmm
mini Batmans to everybody. I do understand that this may have hit like on for some of the kids, but it was just nothing that appeals to me. I mean, the new animated movies coming from DC, like the adult
yeah,
movies, like those are
yeah,
good.
yeah. They're like the Teen Titans, not the new Teen Titans, the new ones, just like that. It's like mad cartoony. Um, uh, the old Teen Titans and um, the newer animated ones like for adults that has like blood and like some gore animated style, of course. But yeah, those are way better.
Sounds like your dog is getting in there too.
She's excited.
So with that, yeah, like I agree. Like especially with the new Injustice movie that came out, definitely not kid oriented. But then you also have the Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. I mean, we had the same conversation, and if you guys want to hear that, there's no need to go back to it. Just watch the 2005 episode because we go deep dive in there and talking about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the second one on the list and take it away.
Ben 10, Alien Force. I had 46 episodes. That also aired on Cartoon Network with an IMDb of 7.3. Um, I was a 15-year-old Ben Tennyson. Um, he he got this creepy like watch that had like different species of aliens on it, and him and his cousin Gwen and some a guy that they used to be enemies with. His name was Kevin 11. They were on the show, so they like teamed up, and like I can say that animated series was better than that uh, Batman and Bat Batman and the Bold, the Brave and the Bold. So that I would pick that Ben 10 over Batman.
See, I never actually watched Ben 10. Like it was just something that never appealed to me, I guess.
Mm.
Um, which I know it had its huge fan force. Like a family member of mine, like he used to watch Ben 10 all the time. So
Interesting.
I don't deny like the fan base at all. Like that was huge. That was big. I mean, there's a reason why that this series was a second to Ben 10, because if I'm not mistaken, it went Ben 10 first and then Ben 10 Alien Force. It's like
Alien
a
Force.
yeah, it was like a different show as a continuation, kind of very much similar to the 90s Spider-Man. And then Ultimate Spider-Man is it was kind of like a continuation but its own new thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, like, and of course you have who starred in it, do you remember?
Um, Yuri Lowenthal, Ashley Johnson, and Will Wheaton.
Oh, okay. Which if you heard that, Will Wheaton actually was in Star Trek. I do know that he's big in the nerd community. If it's the same Ashley Johnson, I believe that is, of course, the voice of the Tano in the Clone Wars. She was actually a worker at Walt Disney World Resort too at one point. Um, so I don't know if it's the same individual. If it is though, that would honestly be kind of cool. Um, and of course, number three. I mean, do we need a pick rock paper scissors to go on this one, because neither one of us actually have heard of this. It's called Betsy's Kindergarten Adventures. It was a 26 episodic run on PBS Kids. It had an IMDb rating of 6.2. So we
I
missed
mean,
it.
if we're in a if I believe if we're an adult watching Betsy's Kindergarten Adventures,
Yeah.
there's an issue.
But it looks like it was a cartoon, or it still is a cartoon. That slowly, what it does, I guess which I mean, this is good. It transitions children from a home setting to a school setting. Um, it does this by generating interest and excitement about kindergarten, which is great, just because of the fact of having a daughter on ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I don't mean Ro and I mean like my wife and I. Um, Having a daughter being the age of 2, and when she ends up being that way, I do understand that's a hard transition for kids sometimes. That's kind of why we have her in not really preschool but like daycare and stuff as well, just to kind of help with that transition. But this is good. This is something that I kind of wish that we had when, I can't really say when we were kindergarten, but I'm sure it might have made it a little bit simpler, because I do
Mhm.
remember getting dropped off at school. I do remember kids crying when they're getting dropped off at school. I mean, daughter does the same. Really, the only known star from the series, it looks like Fred Willard. Um, and again, it actually started in 2007 and it's still going. So, and those are a few fun facts. I did send you the YouTube video. What did you think of the YouTube video?
It was what you expect it to be, really. Like, it was a kid show. Like, I clicked on it, like that, and I was like, yeah, this is very kiddie, not me. Yeah. Clicked out.
All right. So number four, you want to do number four?
Yeah, the car. It was Cars Tune Mater's Tall Tales. Like, they were short stories, 15 episodes. I seen a couple of them. I seen the astronaut and the fire truck one. Um, but it was just Mater. If you ever seen the TV show Cars, um, it was the Mater with the real redneck voice, uh, who had his own little short stories. And we know Larry the Cable Guy, and George Carlin, um, were part of those little shows. He was a fire truck, like I said, a daredevil, import drifter, all the way to an astronaut. I mean, if anybody who knows who Mater is, I mean, you can't see him as an astronaut. a rusty old tow truck as an astronaut or import drifter. But I mean, it was pretty good. Have you seen Cars? Have you seen Cars? I never seen part two, but have you seen Cars? You know who Mater is, and you
Uh,
know like he's kind of funny.
in all honesty, you can skip two. You can literally go one and three, and that's it. Then that's a perfect ending. You don't need two at all. Two is one of those movies that they should have made a Tall Tales. Basically, the only one that I
Hmm.
saw was the Halloween episode, but um, the the actual movie Cars Two should have been like a. It was so poorly reviewed, and if you ask anybody who's a Pixar fan, one of their movies on like the bottom chart would be Cars 2. I know it would be Cars 2. Me personally, I don't really like the good dinosaurs, so it'd be down there with Cars 2. But yeah, it's you're not missing anything. Go one and three and then call it quits. So with that brings us to number five. Again, it's another one that neither Ro or I actually knew of or heard about until researching this. It looks like number five is Click and Clacks as the Wrench Turns. It's a 13 episode episodic run on PBS. IMDb gave it a 5.3. It looks like it started in July of 2008 and still going. Again, neither one of us know who this is or what this is. So, as far as that goes, we don't know the actors or actresses when researching this. What we can tell you is that Beth's full name is Beth Totenbag. It is, oh, this, I guess this is a fun fact. So, Beth is a character in the show. Her full name is Beth Totenbag. It is a reference to an NPR correspondent, Nina Totenbag, to the fact that tote bags are common gifts during NPR fundraising drives. So I didn't know that. So apparently there's some ties somewhere as far as newscasting goes.
Hmm.
Um, it looks like I don't think I sent you the link for that, but did you look it up at all or no?
No,
There's just no need.
yeah.
And that's fair. That's fair. And with that, of course, that brings us to the end of this week's episode for the top five cartoons. Let us know in the comments below what is your favorite show out of those top five. If there is a cartoon that didn't present during that year or was still airing during that time period, leave a comment below. Let us know exactly what your favorite episode was or show was. For us, obviously, was the old school Batman and Batman Forever. Those will always stick in there, except Ro. Of course, he has Ben 10 Alien Force. More on me.
Okay. I should just get a
Um,
shirt.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, with that in mind, we can't thank you guys enough for coming, listening, watching us. Of course, hit that subscribe button, show as much support as possible. Hit that link down below to go to our merch store. And with that, we'll see you next week as we discuss the 2008 top five music. You guys have a great day.